Hi, Allison.
Hi, Carrie. How you doing?
Hi, good. I'm so sorry. I am a couple minutes late. I'm so
Oh,
sorry about that.
no worries at all. Not at
I have
all.
this, I always forget that originally, when I signed up for Abundance, I signed up for it before I had a work Gmail.
Uh-huh.
So my notifications cut, and this is through my personal account. So I was
Got
like
it.
digging through my work email. I was like, where is the meeting invite? I'm really sorry about that.
Oh, it's really no problem at all. Yeah. What would be most helpful today?
So I think just determining a little bit about my niche, and then I'm not sure how these work. If you can take a gander at my website while we're doing this, I don't know if that's, you know,
Typically, we don't end up having a good amount of time for
okay,
that.
okay.
So let's talk through niche and then we can talk about messaging, which you can take to your
Yeah.
website.
Yeah, really niche and marketing is really the long and short of it is I've been in practice since 2011. When I first started way back then, having a great website was kind of like a novel thing.
Uh-huh.
And at the time, I was married to a graphic designer, web designer who created this beautiful website for me, and it was lovely. And also knew about Google Ads and was able to like get me. So I did really pretty well in my first few years. And then having kids and then divorce and then the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
everything just kind of changed as it did for everybody. And now I'm just um so in the last couple of years I've been sort of trying to kind of essentially rebrand myself and remarket myself. I had really built myself a client base on couples work.
Mm-hmm.
And that was great, but I would just want to do something different now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so the niche that well, I think it's a niche, first of all, is the first question. What my website is geared towards is basically overwhelmed moms. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Moms who are struggling with kind of the mental and emotional load and are kind of juggling all of these different roles in their lives and need to find a way to, practice establishing, maintaining better boundaries, you know, improving the relationships in their lives, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Love it.
Is that
That's a
enough of
niche.
a niche?
Yeah, I mean, I think the messaging of that niche is there's so much daily lived experience in being an overwhelmed mom, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you know it, I know it, every mom out there knows it.
Mm-hmm.
There are varying degrees of overwhelm depending on how like involved the partners are or how like what kind of support you have. Are you a
Mm-hmm.
working mom? Are you, like are you a work at home mom? Are you,
Mm-hmm.
there's just so many different things. So it's
Mm-hmm.
getting clear on that exact ideal client and what, like maybe she's got a supportive partner,
Yeah.
but like we are in this soup where women do everything in the house. And
Yeah.
so, like, maybe if it's a male partner, like he'd be willing to pitch in and help. It's just not
Yeah.
something that they've discussed. So, if
Yeah.
that's your ideal
Yeah.
client, that's going to be different messaging
Yeah.
than a single mom who
Yeah.
is really juggling basically all of it except for every
Yeah.
other weekend.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Okay. Okay. And I guess that part I just haven't totally figured out yet because I don't, and I think, anticipate what the answer is going to. I don't want to like narrow in too much and like exclude
mhm.
other people. But I think the lesson for that for me is since I've launched my website, strangely, the the most like the highest percentage of clients I've received are men
Huh.
who are like in a totally different situation.
Uh-huh.
Which I don't mind working with. I mean, I think that's fine. But it's just kind of interesting. But so I'm sort of not sure how um specific I should get in
Hmm.
the kind of speaking to the ideal client. I've already, launched the website, but I am in the process of potentially redoing a couple things on it and launching a Google ad campaign in January.
Hmm. So, first of all, I'm curious, how are these men finding you?
Those were referrals primarily.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got it. Okay.
yeah. But I did have, it was interesting because I did just, but a couple of them did find me via my website. And one of them is, it's funny because he um, called and said, I really liked your website. I liked the messaging. I don't know if you work with men, but I'm going through a divorce and I have daughters because part of my thing is, part of my website too speaks to like the mother-daughter relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking, he was really wanting to, is really wanting to kind of make sure he has a better relationship with his daughters as they go through this divorce.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So,
So yeah, I'm thinking about like, what is it? Like a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle isn't a square, or vice versa. I always get it mixed up. But like, you can speak to one very specific person within your website, and
mhm.
it will bring in people who are similar to that person, or people who have some values that they see on your website, like this guy.
Okay. Okay.
So you can risk being very specific. And there are ways to do it. Like, let's say your ideal client does have a partner.
Hmm.
You can say, if you have a partner, comma, they're blah, blah, blah. So
Oh
that
yeah.
leaves it open for the single moms or the
Yeah.
single dads.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there are
Right.
ways to do it where it welcomes people in while still being very specific about who you speak to.
Okay. Okay. That's a good, yeah. Just use those kind of modifiers. Yeah. These will come through. Sorry, I'm just jotting a couple of these things down because I don't remember it otherwise. Okay. So can I ask another question?
Yeah.
Um, one of the things that I am trying to determine, and I'll try to be as brief as possible about this. So when I first started, when I first hired a designer to do my new website, what I was originally thinking was I was going to basically have two audiences I was speaking to. One were the overwhelmed moms, like, or actually just like, yeah, overwhelmed moms. And then the second was kind of doing essentially couple, family therapy with moms and adult daughters.
Hmm.
But I just couldn't figure out kind of how to make them separate. There was so much bleed over between the copy, that I couldn't figure out how to really do the family therapy one.
Hmm.
And then I thought, well, maybe I should just, because I just needed to get a new website up because mine was old and dusty. And I was approaching the deadline. I was like, I'm just going to go with this one for now and just gear it towards overwhelmed moms. But working on that relationship of, uh, you know, women who have become mothers themselves and are realizing, oh, I've got some stuff to unpack
Hmm.
from my family, and have moms who are obviously still living and willing to kind of look at that with them, is something that's really interesting to me and I've done a little bit of and I would like to
Hmm.
do more of, but I just can't figure out how to like speak to that on my website without it sounding a lot like what I already have written for the overwhelmed moms. Is that making sense? What
It
I'm
is. I think you could do it on a specialty page.
okay.
And it could just be called like mother-daughter therapy, that page. And you could say, um, you know, so many of the clients who come to me who are currently overwhelmed moms realize that there's work to be done on their relationship with their mom.
Mm-hmm.
And you can describe what that work often looks
Mm-hmm.
like what's some of the messiness between them or how it might be affecting their current way of doing life. Like
Yeah. Right.
the
Right.
if particularly if they had critical moms or moms with
Yeah.
very high standards or
Yeah.
however you want to phrase it.
Yeah. Right.
Um,
Right. Or moms who, yeah, worked all the time or what, like
mhm.
whatever it was that like is showing up for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can really speak to like how we are parented is often how we start parenting.
Yeah.
Because that's the example we had.
Yep. Yep. So when you say a specialty page, that's different than a separate services page.
It could be a services page. Like I use those
Okay.
kind of
Okay.
interchangeably.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah. So you could have like services, and under that, you could have like individual therapy where you talk about the therapy you do, which is going to be like basically a repeat of everything you said. And then you could have mother-daughter therapy.
Okay. And so that's what I started with. My hesitation with that was I don't want to work with children.
Right.
So I don't want it to be like teen moms, or
Hmm.
not teen moms, but I mean,
Teens and their moms.
could
Yeah.
work with, I did used to work with teen moms, with teens and their moms. I don't want it to be that, or little kids and their moms, you know?
Uh-huh.
So I'm trying to figure out how to like do, like, what do I, it just sounds so clunky to me, like adult daughters. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
I mean, I think you could call it mother-daughter therapy, and in your copy, you could talk about like the daughter in this has kids.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
you
yeah.
can
Okay,
guide them, and you can even
okay.
say something at the bottom, like if you're looking for therapy for you and your child that
Yeah,
is still an adolescent,
yeah,
um, you know, here's
yeah.
somebody I
Here are
recommend.
some
Yeah.
resources. Yeah, okay. What is your opinion about breaking that out? Does that sound like something I mean, I guess I'm just curious, like in general, what your opinion is on having like more than one niche. And I mean, I've read and looked at a lot of your stuff on that. But also, is this enough of a niche? Like, does this qualify as a niche? This,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the overlap of them is so strong. If
okay,
the overlap wasn't strong, I wouldn't. I mean, that's why you were having trouble. This is
right.
the same copy.
Uh-huh. It is the
The
same copy.
Yeah. So it's basically like you work with women who are overwhelmed with being mothers, and you work with them and their mothers.
Yeah,
So to
yeah.
me, it's like,
Maybe it could be something that's just in that page, like, hey, also, if you're struggling, click on this link, and then I can just do like a sort of a mini specialty page on like, you can bring your mom in too.
mhm.
Would that work? Or like,
It
yeah.
could, but I think that would feel more like if you're already in therapy with me on your own, you can bring your mom in versus
Oh, yeah,
new
yeah,
people
yeah.
who want to come with their moms
Right,
can.
right. Good point. Good point. Okay. Okay. All right. So just doing that is the second page is, yeah, is okay. And like that would be fine to do
Yeah.
that, to speak to that group.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Because it's ultimately the same exact ideal client. It's just her
Yeah.
plus her mom.
Yeah. Can I just get your opinion on that? Like, does that sound like, I don't know. I think I'm just like, and I don't know if this is like a therapy session where there's just like doubt for me because I did, I was solidly a couples therapist for so long. And it's like, I knew what to say, I knew what to do, I knew how to speak to that audience. I'm like, is this a thing? Like, you know,
Yeah.
that's out there. That's
It is. It's
okay.
interesting because I'm working with somebody in limitless practice right now who is moving away from that niche. So I'm like, oh, maybe I should link them up
Oh,
so that you
really?
can get those referrals. She's been doing it as a coach though, so she's been doing it nationwide.
Oh,
So
yeah.
maybe there's some people in your state, but
Yeah.
she did it. She loved it for a really long time and is ready for a change.
Oh, yeah. I would
Um,
love to be connected with her just to
yeah,
kind of bounce ideas off. And yeah,
yeah. I'll ask her today. Let me
yeah,
make a
yeah.
note.
So, yeah, if she's open to it, that would be wonderful.
Yeah. Um, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um, and then the other thing is just generally, what else do I need to do? Um, so I, I need clients like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm, and I dragged my feet on this because all the, imposter syndrome and all that stupid stuff. Um, Not stupid stuff, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so what I'm planning to do is launch a Google ad campaign starting in January
Mhm.
under the advisement of this marketing company that I hired to do that, and they're just
Mhm.
going to run it for me. Because for a long time, one of the reasons I'm in the position I'm in now is because I kept telling myself, like, oh, I should be able to do this myself, or I can figure this out myself, because my ex-husband used to do it. I'm like, but that he had a career in that, like that's what
Right.
he did, you know. Um, so anyway, I'm a day late, a dollar short with this, and I kind of just need to get clients in the door right away. Other than this, um, just generally, like, I mean, are there other like online, I'm on Psychology Today. I think that's the only one I'm on right now. Like, what else can I and should I be doing just generally to try and just get this out there?
Yeah. Are you networking?
Mm. I need to be networking more. I need to be
Yeah.
networking more for sure. Yeah, for sure. I do. Um, I guess I'm kind of curious, like, if there are, yeah, just like specific groups I should be trying to network with, or is it just other therapists? I mean, I am in a big, like, online Facebook group for my community here,
Hmm.
in the Twin Cities. And so, and I have contacts. I just have kind of, I think my personal life just kind of got in the way for a while, and I sort of like shrank back a little bit. So
Yeah.
I'm a little hesitant to, to
Hmm.
get back into marketing or networking, but yeah, I know I need to be doing that. Yeah,
Yeah.
for
And
sure.
I think about couples therapists,
Yeah,
right? Like you probably are already connected with a lot because you were a
yeah,
couples therapist.
yeah,
Because some of those women are going to need their own therapist and they're
yeah,
hearing about those dynamics between mothers and daughters.
yeah,
And for them
yeah,
to be able to be like, you know what? Like, I have a colleague who specializes in this
yeah,
relationship
yeah.
can be really powerful.
Okay. Right. I mean, and I do know a ton of couples therapists, and I mean, that's the bulk of my clients right now are
Mhm.
referrals from other therapists. So I think I
Yeah.
just need to be more intentional about that. I know that this is in all of your great materials, but can you just remind me, is there like, I know there's not like a perfect formula, but like about how many like contacts or hours should I be
Hmm.
spending on that like
I
per
would
week?
send out at least 5 emails a week. Most of them will go unanswered. That's okay.
Okay.
And aim for one or two lunches or coffees or Zoom coffees per week.
Okay.
And that's for the introverted folks. If you're feeling extroverted one week, then I would send out double that. I'd send out 10 emails.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've got a template for that in the What to Say When course to make the email part easier.
Yep. Okay. And these are new people each week, I assume,
You can
or
do new or just
yeah.
reconnecting with people like that counts. In
Yeah.
fact, the relationships you've already formed are going to be the ones that are more likely to refer to you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's like
Of course.
really making sure if you're reaching out to new people, you are forming an actual relationship, not just like a one night stand version
Yeah.
of networking.
Yeah. Yep. For sure. And I do. I mean, I have a lot of people just who I went to grad school with that are still in the area that
Yeah.
I know quite well. But um, yeah, I guess I feel a little silly saying that, but I'm like, I just kind of fell out of touch, you know?
Hmm.
Like, it just kind of, so, but it's okay,
Yeah.
right? It's okay to just come
It's
up again and
great.
be like, yeah,
Yeah, it's great. And I mean, after
okay.
the years you've had, like the hits kept
Yeah.
coming. Like that's a lot.
I'm gonna
So,
write a book called My Menopause Divorce because it was all in one year.
uh-huh. Damn. That's a rough year.
It was a big year. 2020 was a big year. So anyway, I'm okay. All right. So 5 to 10 emails a week. I can do that. I used to do fundraising. I can do cold
Oh
call.
yeah, totally.
I can
And
do-
this is easier because it's cold email. So you don't
Yes,
even have to cold
exactly.
call.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not actually asking for money from people. Okay. All right. Um, oh God, I just had the other thing in my head that I was going to ask you. Sorry about this. Oh, blogging.
Hmm.
How important is it? Number one. And two, how much content actually needs to be in it? And is it okay if it's kind of, well, let me just get to the point. I'm a music lover.
Uh-huh.
I really love music. I am just like I'm always listening to music. Um, I grew up in a musical family, and so I was like, thinking about a blog, and I'm like, the only thing that would actually be interesting to me is if I posted like a link to a song and then talked about how I thought the song like created. But I'm like, I'm not a musician. Like, what
Mm-hmm.
is that? Is that completely crazy like that?
Are your clients music people? Do they care? Because our
Most definitely.
blogs really
Yeah.
need like your I and this is where you got to get specific about your
Yeah.
ideal client.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to write a single word on our website or our blogs that our clients don't care about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I would say blogging would be beneficial if you're going to use SEO as a strategy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, and I mean, it's good for people getting to know you better, but I always think of like blogging and SEO as being like, you know, a jelly
Okay.
sandwich is fine, but peanut butter and jelly is better, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
keeping those two together, and I would recommend SEO, like you're in an area that is not overdeveloped for SEO. You can still get a foot in.
Okay.
But you
Really?
would need to hire, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like the middle of nowhere would be,
Yeah.
but
Right.
um
Right.
I would hire it out if you're going to do it. And
Okay.
let's count. Let's see. You've got online listings, a website, networking, Google AdWords, and then potentially SEO and blogging.
Would be the fifth one that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of the golden rule, right? Is to have
Yeah.
five. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. Okay. Um, yeah, I was kind of going back and forth between SEO and I mean, my budget only kind of allowed for one right now
Uh-huh.
to hire like one firm. And I know my ADHD brain, I'm like, I'm not going to do this unless I feel
Yeah.
like I'm just not going to do it on my own. So I went with the Google ad. Do you think that's the right thing to start with? Because
It really depends. Like
okay,
I've never had luck with Google Ads and I've hired it
okay,
out three different companies, but
really?
you have
Okay.
had luck with it before.
I have,
So
but
it's
it
I
was before people were using it a ton,
yeah.
and I kind of not maxed out, but I mean, I was like probably spending 500 a month on it.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
So I would see how this goes. And do you have a commitment with this company? Like a certain number of
um,
months or?
I think it's 3 months. Yeah, I think
Mhm.
it's 3 months.
So I'd reassess it 3 months. You should know within 1 month. Like they
Yeah,
should really have it locked in within the
yeah,
first month.
yeah, yeah,
And if
yeah.
you're not seeing results from them, then
Mhm.
I would consider investing in SEO.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. If you, um, I'm assuming you're not. Are you able to share with me the company that you?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Simplified SEO consulting. And
Okay,
so in the party, you'll see she's the one who walks you through how to do a blog post in the SEO section of the Marketing Fundamentals course.
okay,
And they're who I've trusted with my SEO. They are like, I only hear good things about them from the people I refer to them, which is not the case for other companies I've used.
okay. And can I ask the companies that you used for Google Ads that worked?
It was years ago.
Was it RevKey by any chance?
No.
Okay, because that's a company I hired, which someone else locally, but in what with a different niche had
Uh-huh.
a good experience with them.
Great.
So
Yeah.
I'm hoping it goes well, but I am a little nervous about it.
You've had success
Okay.
with it before. So
I
like
have.
let's
I
leave
have.
space for like this worked in the past.
Yep. Yep.
It'll hopefully work again. And if
Yeah.
not, you'll pivot
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's
Okay.
what you do.
Yep. Exactly.
Clearly,
That's what I've
you
been
have
doing my
pivoted
whole
really
life.
well.
The jury's still out, but I think it's going okay. Yeah. Um, okay. All right. Good. Good. So I have my website up. Um, I'm getting I it's not getting to enough people, but the people that it is getting to seem to be responding well to it.
Mhm.
So I think what I need to do is just kind of do what I was planning on doing, which this has been really helpful to just kind of confirm that for me. So
Good.
pull up that mother-daughter page,
Mhm.
get that up, and then in January kind of go on both of those campaigns.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And really do like network. Now's not a great time to network, probably.
right.
So
Right.
network starting in
Yeah.
January.
Yeah.
Maybe go ahead
Yeah.
and make your list of who you want to network with, like
I was gonna
create.
say, yeah, and
Yeah.
even, yeah, I might just start with people who, like, even in my building, because there are a ton of therapists in here who I,
Yeah.
know and see in the hall, but like, yeah, maybe we could even get something on the calendar for after the new year.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right, thank you. This has been so helpful.
I'm glad.
It's just really good to just have this, yeah,
Good.
confirmation and encouragement. So thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Keep me updated in the party Facebook group.
I will for sure. Thanks. Thank
Sure.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.